was a typical day in the world of...
I remember that shit. I remember that. I remember eating off those plates. Creepy ass plates.
Time television, infomercials, soap operas, and highly scripted legal...
Alright, so last time, my last reaction to Nick Crowley, I think that's how you say his name. Wow, that face right there is so creepy. My reaction to him, y'all want to see more? Y'all want to see more of my reactions to his videos? But unless there's any specific videos from him you want me to react to, let me know that in the comment section below. But as if there's no really specific videos you want me to react from his channel, then I'm just gonna react to like what I think. I'm just gonna react to like random videos from him. But that's it.
Shows filled viewer screens, with one of the more popular at the time being a program...
You know, I just realized that these judge shows, like Judge Judy, Judge Mathis, is fake. Well, they're not fake, but like, I don't know, they're not what it's more than what meets the eye. You know, Transformers looking at it's like it's a lot more, you know, behind the scenes. I don't really know how to explain it, but like they doing too much. But it's not okay. I don't know. It makes sense in my head.
Called Christina's Court.
Today in Christina's Court.
The show centered around a woman named Christina Perez, giving counsel and advice to those wrapped up in legal drama. And on this particular morning, comedian Sean Harris would be featured filing suit against his ex-girlfriend in the hopes of recouping unpaid rent.
Every month it would be something different, you know?
Like what?
I ain't got this month because I got to do this or that. And I'm like, man.
So you let her go 9 months without paying rent?
No.
9 months? They clucking. 9 months without paying rent? Just live there for free at this point. Just finish off. Just finish off the year strong. Finish off the year strong. 9 months without paying rent. Either it's some sexual activity going on. Somebody getting some head. Or, you know, it's some clucking going on. Because, like, 9 months is ridiculous. Like, don't worry about paying the last 3 months. Just finish off the year strong. And we'll go from there.
Like I said, these shows were very obviously scripted, at least to some degree, and with Sean himself being a professional comedian, it led to countless funny moments and what turned out to be one of the show's more iconic episodes, with by far the most memorable moment coming at the very end, when things seemed to deviate from the script.
Constantly like a child in my
People
own
in
house.
love, they yell at each other.
Oh, that's true. Ask him, he's been married for how long? Over 20.
Look at him though, he look mad.
Oh shit! I remember this, like this specific video. Ooh.
You don't look happy, brother. You don't look happy.
Here, we see the comedian take aim at Christina's bailiff, a man named Renard Spivey, who was an integral part of the show, being the judge's sidekick for years and years. Though it wasn't often that he found himself at the end of a joke like this, as Sean suggests that Renard looked unhappy when it was revealed that he had been married for over 27 years.
He's very happy. Okay, alright, let's get back to the claim.
All in all, it made for a rather charming moment, with viewers adoring the lighthearted jab aimed at one of the show's most beloved characters. Though no one could have known at the time just how true that joke about his happy marriage would turn out to be.
I'm saying.
Still developing tonight, a Harris County Sheriff's deputy facing serious charges. 63-year-old Renard Spivey accused of killing his wife, 53-year-old Patricia Spivey, after an argument that turned deadly. KPRC Channel 2's Bill Barama.
On July 28, 2019, over a decade after the aforementioned program aired, Renard Spivey was confronted by his wife Patricia about what she believed to be
I'm not gonna lie, Patricia look a little... She look a little crazy. And why does he look like this one actor that I know? They might be related.
Use, or perhaps even infidelity. And in the midst of this heated argument, Spivey would draw his gun and shoot his wife once in the arm and then in the chest.
Jesus.
Shortly after, police would find her lifeless body crumpled in their bedroom closet.
Crumpled in the
Now,
closet.
after years and years of taking part in this once famed legal show, Spivey can be found alone in his prison cell, where he'll likely remain for the next 14 years of his life for murdering the woman that he was so happily married to. Killing what was once one of Christina's corpse.
If you're not happy in your relationship, get the hell out of there!
Most iconic moments into one of the darkest examples of irony in all of television history.
That look that he gave him after he made that joke, that look right here is like, what the hell do you know? You know something I don't know? He looking at him like, bro, you off the script right now. Get back on the shits before I cluck you up.
History.
When you find a good woman, you got to hang on for dear life, because then it's hard to find another. So my advice is a happy woman, married woman.
I hope I didn't react to this whole video because there's a lot
Before
of...
we get any further, I want to thank Scentbird for sponsoring this video and in turn making this dark content financially viable for myself. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that allows you to select and try new designer fragrances every month without having to go to that dreaded perfume section where the smells are already so strong that you don't ever really get the full sense.
Oh my God. Yo, I was going to say, y'all remember that episode from SpongeBob and then he shows it? Every time I walk past that or I walk through it, it's overwhelming. Like the scents are through the roof.
The fragrance you're testing. Plus, you don't have to deal with pushy salespeople, which is perfect for someone like me, who honestly lacks basic communication skills. Each fragrance you receive from Scentbird comes in a 30-day supply tester, allowing you to fully experience the scent before you commit to buying a massive expensive bottle. And it allows you to try a wide variety of products as their inventory is seemingly endless, with all the top names like Gucci, Versace, and Prada, along with a bunch of other brands that you may have never heard of, but are equally as amazing. This month, I received a product called Royal Forest by English Laundry, which has scents of citrus and apple, along with some hints of honey and cedar, along with my personal favorite, Magnetic Wood EDP by The Harmonist, which is going to be perfect for more fancy occasions. Scentbird is now available in the US and Canada, and if you're interested in trying them out, you can use my coupon code Crowley55 for 55% off your order, making it just a little over $7 for your first month.
Right.
The world of television is an interesting one. Despite the highly controlled and well-polished products that we're typically used to seeing on our screens, there have been a surprisingly high number of deeply disturbing moments that have happened when on air, and this potentially new series aims to highlight some of the most disturbing. And what better way to start than with a relatively unknown case that has haunted me for years.
Man, them mother cluckers, these monkey looking things, they creeping me out.
Saturday, June 14th, 2008, a Japanese TV station called Television Miyazaki is running its standard live programming, which on this day was set to feature a game show-like segment in the remote rice fields of Takachi Hocho. The game itself was simple. Competitors stood back-to-back on a small wooden stand above the shallow muddy water below, and when given the cue, they would attempt to shove their opponent into the water without turning their bodies around. In the end, the one left standing on the platform would be declared the winner, with the loser being left humiliated in the mud.
You suck! You suck! Oh! Get your ass out this shit!
Round 1 goes off without a hitch, resulting in the losing contestant being covered head to toe in a thick brown sludge, with the whole atmosphere perfectly encapsulating the craziness and high energy charm that you would expect from a Japanese game.
Bro, it's all in her mouth. That's disgusting. That's so nasty. I would have threw up. That's nasty. And what the hell is in there? I need to know everything that's in there. Oh my, I'm about to throw
show made at the time. And so far, everything was all in good fun, with this excitement only escalating as the contestants convinced one of the show's hosts, a man named Tatsuchi Yanagita, to join in on the competition.
Hey, hold on. I don't know what he's saying, but he probably saying, like, if anybody can translate that, what he's saying, he probably saying, like, hold on, bitch. Hold on. Back up. I quit. Nah, I'm not getting in there. I'm supposed to be the host. I'm not standing in this shit, because if I get dirty, I'm beating everybody ass in this motherfucker. Back up. Back the hell up. Oh.
It took some convincing, but eventually Tatsuchi agrees to compete, much to the enjoyment of everyone spectating. And from there, the comedy writes itself, as immediately after the round starts, it's apparent that he stood little to no chance. And upon instantly losing his balance, Tatsuki reacts in a split second and dives off the platform, landing headfirst into the muddy water below, which causes his body to fall limp.
Why did he do it like that though? Like, go back. This quality sucks. Why did he jump like that though? It's like he did that shit on purpose. Like, why did he? I'm not laughing because it seemed like he got paralyzed. I'm not laughing because it seemed like he got clucked up. I'm laughing at the fact that it's like he thought, why did he dive in like that? Like the mud is like, 6 feet deep or something. Like, why did he dive like that?
The water that he had just dove into was merely 6 inches deep, with the rest consisting of a thick layer of mud, which his head would strike directly, instantly causing his neck to break.
Shit!
And in that very moment, Tatsuchi would be irreversibly paralyzed, leaving him unable to move from the neck down. It was a tragic accident. However, the accident itself is far from the most awful part of this live broadcast, with that coming immediately after. Unaware of Tatsuchi's severe injury, the crew believed that he was merely playing a prank on them and just joking around, and so they left him there, face first in the water, and proceeded to shove his face even deeper and deeper into the...
They ain't shit. They ain't nothing. They ain't shit. It's like everybody there was plotting and scheming on his ass. They ain't shit.
Splashing even more on top of his head to rub in the fact that he had lost. They had no idea that during their antics, Tatsuchi was in a desperate fight for survival, as in those 6 inches of water, he was slowly drowning, and completely unable to pick up his head to breathe. This lasts for an excruciatingly long 15 seconds before they begin to bob his head up and down and eventually pull Tatsuchi's face out of the water. But this reprieve was short-lived, as the contestants proceed to drop him back into the mud face first. It is so incredibly painful to watch.
Y'all, what the fuck? At some point, like, 15 seconds is a long time, but, like, at some point, you gotta be thinking, like, all right, now, hold on now. Just, why is his head still in the, like, bring him out, hold on now. Just, something that, I don't know about, hold on now. Like, nobody doing that.
It made all the more disturbing with the over-the-top hysterical laughter coming from everyone around him who are completely oblivious to the situation in front of them. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Tatsuchi is hoisted above the water and the camera switched back to the main broadcast, ending both Tatsuchi's and the viewer's pain. By some stroke of good fortune, Tatsuchi would survive the ordeal, but just barely, as it's estimated that even just a few more seconds in that mud would have likely led to his death. But thankfully, this wasn't the case. And according to his Facebook page, Tatsuchi has learned to live with his body-wide paralysis, and even went on to rejoin the show years later in some capacity, ending this entry off on somewhat of a bright spot, despite this otherwise being one of the more unsettling and appalling broadcast accidents that I've ever seen.
I'm suing like a motherfucker.
Wake up! Wake up! Donald Herbert had been in a coma for the previous...
On the topic of broadcasts that have left an impression on my life, I would say none have had more of an emotional impact than a story run by 60 Minutes about a man named Donald Herbert. The story starts back in 1995, just 4 days after Christmas, when a fire broke out in a home in Buffalo, New York. In an attempt to put out the blaze, firefighter Donald Herbert was standing on the roof of the building when suddenly it gave way. As a result, Herbert would fall into the attic where he would be trapped in the smoke, unable to breathe. He would lay there without oxygen for 6 whole minutes before they finally were able to pull his body to safety, with the whole ordeal being filmed and shown on local news. Somehow, Herbert managed to survive this accident, but being without air for that long caused him to lose most of his brain function, leading to him spending the following years in a minimally conscious state, unable to eat, unable to breathe, and seemingly unable to understand the world around him. Eventually, his condition led to him being placed in a nursing home, where a feeding tube was the only thing keeping him alive. For all intents and purposes, the man was gone. But then, something happened. On April 20th, 2005, a staggering 9.5 years after his accident, Donald Herbert woke up.
What?
In the nursing home where he had spent most of the years unresponsive, he would suddenly turn to a nurse and ask for his wife, Linda, while displaying signs of being fully lucid, which prompted the staff to immediately call his family, who rushed to see him. And sure enough, despite Herbert being completely blind, he was not only fully responsive, but recognized almost all of his family members. The moments following were all captured by cameras and later shown on an episode of 60 Minutes, with the footage being some of the hardest hitting and emotional that I've personally ever seen.
How long have I been calling?
Quite a while, pal. Quite a while. 10 years.
The pain in discovering that he had been gone for 10 years, all that time missed, robbed from a man who was just doing his job, is indescribably gut-wrenching. But it's what happens after this footage that proves to be the most upsetting part. For nearly 16 hours, the newly awakened man spoke with his family, catching up on every little detail that he had missed. And though from that point on he had moments going in and out of his lucidity, his long-term prognosis actually seemed hopeful. Throughout the next few weeks, Donald was surrounded by family members at all times, not only to take advantage of every single second that Herbert was awake, but also for his own safety as well. As since his awakening, he would thrash violently in his sleep, as if he still believed he was trapped in that blaze. And so to ensure his safety, at least one family member would be stationed with the man while he slept. Though on one night, one of the family members on duty had grown too exhausted to stay any longer, and from the first time since he became lucid, Donald Herbert was left alone. And during that night, he would again start to thrash violently, with Herbert flailing so hard that he would fall out of his bed and strike his head against the floor,
Oh my God.
causing his brain to start bleeding.
That's the last thing he needed. Yo, it's like that one time just made everything completely worse. I can't believe he was was he in that hospital for 10 years? Or was he like home unresponsive for 10 years? Cause I feel like being in the hospital for that long is just like, that's insane. I think being being unresponsive for any amount of time is actually crazy. But to be unresponsive for 10 years, I can't even picture that. Thank God he made it out alive. Jesus Christ.
From that moment on, Donald Herbert would never become lucid again, and as a result of his injuries, he would pass away 1 year later from pneumonia.
If anyone had ever thought that such a horrendous thing could happen, obviously we would have stopped.
That's cap.
The Twilight Zone. Throughout its lengthy run, this television series provided some of the most entertaining and memorable moments in all of television. But for this section, I'm going to be cheating a little bit, as rather than looking at an event surrounding the show itself, I'll be highlighting the far less memorable movie version of the series. Simply named Twilight Zone the Movie, the film was broken up into multiple sections serving as sort of an anthology work with 3 separate storylines. And for the sake of this story, only one section and really only one scene bears discussion. The scene was intended to simulate a battle in the Vietnam War, in which the protagonist, a character played by actor Vic Morrow, is attempting to outrun an attack helicopter and escape the area. The footage was intended to serve as the section's dramatic...
What? Go back, cause did you just say some off the wall shit?
...is attempting to outrun an attack helicopter...
Your attempt to outrun, that sounds so bad. Your attempt to outrun an attack helicopter. That sounds like it's gonna end bad.
Escape the area. The footage was intended to serve as the section's dramatic conclusion, with it being described as the following. In the scene that served as the original ending, Bill, the character portrayed by Morrow, stumbles into a deserted Vietnamese village, where he finds 2 young Vietnamese children left behind when a U.S. Army helicopter appears and begins shooting at them. Morrow was to take both children under his arm and escape out of the village as the hovering helicopter destroyed the village with
And I don't think they had CGI back then. Like, you gotta carry two. Oh man.
multiple explosions. Based on that description alone, shooting the scene was going to be tricky and likely a very intense process on the set, as all the effects used were set to be done practically, meaning that they would require an actual helicopter and real pyrotechnics. Not only this, but the director, a man named John Landis, wanted to use actual child actors for the scene, which, given that it was planned to take place at night and near explosions, was technically illegal in the state of California.
Hey, hold on now. By all means, you get the shot. You get the shot now. Go ahead now. But damn, you don't think you went a little bit too far?
Despite the laws in place, however, Landis decided to shoot the scene regardless, enlisting 7-year-olds Mika Din Lee and 6-year-olds Renee Shin Yi Chen to play the roles of the Vietnamese children. And with all the pieces now in place, the cameras began to roll on what was set to be the stunning conclusion to this particular section.
And you gotta run it in water? God.
As the scene starts, the spectacle of it all can't be understated, as the lighting, setting, and the pyrotechnics truly set a haunting tone. However, unbeknownst to the production team...
Bro, it's explosions out the ass. It's windy as shit. You running in water. You're running. And you got two big ass kids in your arms. Like, bro, no, and you got a fucking helicopter hauling ass to you, guns blazing. Damn. This cannot end well.
It's a major problem developing. As stated prior, all the effects you see here are real, and during the scene there was an actual helicopter flying just above the actors, which by itself was already very dangerous, and made even more so due to the pyrotechnics. For the pilots, the explosions launched in the air created fireballs in the sky, making things much more difficult to navigate, but those on the ground were never made aware of this. and being pressed to make things look even more and more intense, the crew decided to double down on their explosions, launching 2 massive charges back to back, a decision that proved to be a costly one, as the second blast was so strong that it dislodged the helicopter's tail prop, causing the craft to spin uncontrollably, and within mere seconds, as the cameras roll on the 3 actors trudging their way through the water,
Bro, this is all real. This is all real.
the craft crashes directly on top of them.
Let me put my other sock on, cause I can't. Thank God! Thank God! We got animation. We got CGI. I gotta, man, God damn. I gotta take a little lick. Don't you know how some people in a stressful situation be like, oh, I farted. Oh, wait, hold on. Don't you know how some people in a stressful situation be like, I gotta take a drink. No, I gotta take a, hold on now. Hold on. Oh, that's good. Oh, man. Whew. Man. So, I'm an actor. I've been acting professionally for 6 years. Right? I've had my fair share of projects, ranging from short films, student films, and feature films. Right? And just in all kinds of videos. So I understand about getting that good shot. You know, getting a perfect shot. I understand that. But also, and it seemed like they didn't have no insurance either. Jesus. I understand that by all means, you know, get your shot, boo boo. But like, if you gonna put my life in danger, please let me know, because they didn't know everything that was going on that day during filming. They didn't know that. That's insane. It's so much shit that went wrong during this day. I don't know if I can count them. Oh my God! Like, bro, God damn.
Somehow, everyone on board the helicopter survived the wreck.
Oh yeah?
Though those on the ground weren't so lucky, as in one split second, the blade of the helicopter slashed into Vic Morrow and Mika Din Lee, instantly decapitating them. And as the craft slammed to the ground, Renee Shin Yi Chen would be crushed beneath its massive weight. In one frame, there were 3 living actors, and in the next, there were none. In retrospect, it's not hard to see the red flags and the dangerous practices being used by the production team. However, following several long legal battles, no one would be found liable in the deaths of the 3 actors. Mendes himself would go on to enjoy an incredibly successful career. The Twilight Zone film would eventually be released years later, only with a different ending.
Oh, they're not good.
So hold on, like the director of the film, like, did he pay money, like, to the families that got affected? Like, it seemed like he didn't care. Maybe I don't know the whole story, and maybe I'm just jumping to conclusions, but like, man.
Demolish it. There's nobody will come in here. I'll fight force with force.
Our final story takes us to the quaint countryside of Buttsfield, England, where a man named Albert Dryden had been living a fairly solitary life. Following his retirement from steelworking, Albert dedicated his life to building up a plot of land which he had purchased in the area. His main goal was to construct a bungalow for his elderly mother where she could live during the summers, while also planning to build some sort of fallout bunker on the same plot. But right from the start, he ran into issues, as his permit request to build these structures on his land was promptly denied. This did not stop Dryden, however, as despite the ruling, he began his construction anyway, believing he had found a workaround with the law, as rather than building the house in a standard manner, he instead dug a deep hole into the ground and began to construct his home there, labeling it as the home in a hole. Due to this, the home only stood about 8 feet or so above the ground, which Dryden believed made the construction legal. However, he was wrong in his assumption, and the building swiftly caused a disagreement between the man and the Derwentside District Council, with this rift growing more and more amplified as time went on. In the midst of this ordeal, a man named Harry Collinson was appointed as chief of the council and assigned to handle the case as his first order.
I got a question. Right. If you guys, let's say you have your own, I don't really know how this works, but like, let's say you have your own land with like, hella acres. I know there are certain things you can and cannot do. There are certain things that are legal and not legal, and there are certain things you have to let the like higher ups or the government or whoever know what you're doing or what you're about to do on your property, right? But like, how do they know? Like, let's say you get denied, or the government doesn't want you, or the mayor or whoever doesn't want you to build like a bunker or like something, right? They don't want you to build something, right? But like, it's your property and you're deep in the woods. Like, how do they, how do they know you're doing it? Like, unless you out there, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, is like the government doing drive-bys? Like, why do you need to sign off for it? I don't understand. Like, I don't know.
Business, and he did so by initially sending Dryden a letter demanding that he stop construction and also tear down what he had already built. Dryden, however, decided to counter with a court appeal, which was swiftly denied, leading to the court's final order that the building be demolished within 3 months.
But like, are y'all keeping tabs on me? Like, what you mean? Like, are y'all doing drive-bys? Like, how do y'all know I'm out here doing this? Unless I got a big-ass mouth, unless I got some nosy-ass neighbors, like, the only way y'all know I'm out here doing this shit is if y'all doing drive-bys or flying some helicopters or some shit. Like, other than that, I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. What you talking about?
It was around the same time that the local news began to document the ongoing feud between Dryden and the government, and despite the numerous rulings against him, Dryden still refused to give in to the government's demands, and eventually, the council decided to take matters into their own hands.
Oh, yeah?
And decided to demolish the structure themselves.
Oh, shit. Okay, I did not know that. Okay, I did not. First of all, it's just out in the open, and that's a helicopter. Okay, well, they keeping tabs on him. Oh, shit.
So on June 20th, 1991, Harry Collinson, a demolition team, and a group of police constables traveled to Dryden's property to demolish the structure. Before this group arrived, the decision was made that should Dryden attempt to escalate the situation, they were to immediately back off and come up with another plan to avoid any sort of physical altercation. At the scene, numerous reporters had already began gathering at the property line, including a cameraman for the BBC, who was there to document the feud in real time. And right from the start, it was clear that Dryden was not going to be going down without a fight. The gate to his property was chain-locked, with Dryden standing behind it, pointing to 2 letters that he believed proved that he should be able to keep his structure intact, at least for the time being.
Read that as an official letter in the repeal it. There's an inspector coming out on this site in 5 weeks' time. Well, it doesn't say that. Well, I have another letter concerning that. I'm not going to show you the other letter, but this chap's coming out in 5 weeks' time. Well, all is on
my thing is like, as long as you're not doing nothing like illegal or like harmful on your property, you should be able to do whatever you want. I don't understand what the big deal is. You just building a bunker, like you just building another part like a house. Like Why is that? Man. I feel like it's just the government that wants control because it's like, it's your property, bro. Like, you should be able to do whatever you want.
It will be 5 weeks of the outcome, maybe 6 weeks. It'll take a week after he's been out.
I'm satisfied, Albert, that there's nothing in these documents that affects the legality of the enforcement notice that the inspector has confirmed.
However, Dryden's request for more time was clearly falling on deaf ears, and realizing this, Dryden began to grow more and more agitated, with his tone quickly turning far more menacing.
If you don't open the gate, now we'll obviously have to take the fence down with the machine. So if you want, you can have some time to remove the fence yourself to minimize the damage. Do you want to do that? Any damage that's subsequently caused as a result of you preventing us doing that will be your liability.
Well, you might not be around to see the outcome of this disaster.
Oh, that's a threat.
You've been warned. Well, I'm not going to explain, but if you had any sense, you would go over here now and wait 5 weeks for the outcome of that. Right? That's my last word on it.
If you show me the letter referring to the
I can't show you the letter.
I
told you where the letter is.
At this point, based on their initial plan, the crew should have certainly turned back, as it was now getting to the point that Dryden was outright threatening Collinson, warning him that if he were to step on his property, that something awful was going to happen.
You step on my shits? You step on my shits? I better not see one pinky, one toenail, one pinky toe. If I see a hair molecule on my shits, guns blazing.
Though this did cause Collinson to take a few steps back, he still remained steadfast in carrying...
My guy need to take a few steps back off them donuts. Go back. Go back. Take a few steps off them Krispy Kremes. Look at that. God damn. Hold on. Get off me. Look at that. Jesus. Cop off them donuts. I'm sorry. That was so... I'm not one to talk. I'm not, look at it. I'm not, look, you see? I'm not one to talk. I just like to joke around. I'm so sorry. He probably will be healthy as a motherfucker.
A few steps back, he still remained steadfast in carrying out the task and remained on the edge of the property line, standing his ground even when Dryden escalates the situation even further.
What the Lord don't know? Boy,
Can you get a shot of this gun?
Oh, shit.
As the two stand face to face, Dryden brandishes his pistol and points it directly at Collinson, and wanting to ensure the man's combative behavior was being documented, Collinson asks the cameraman to get a shot of his gun, which subsequently leads to this moment.
Can you get a shot of this gun?
In an instant, with cameras rolling, Dryden fires a shot directly into the chest of Harry Collinson, and then fires another at the crowd standing before him, leading to things devolving into a chaotic...
Hey, he told y'all what was gonna happen. He warned y'all, and y'all didn't listen. You thought he was joking?
Scene of running and screaming.
As more shots were fired from a pistol, the camera crew and Look North reporter Tony Belmont ran for cover.
We were standing watching what was going on, and then a shot rang out at the chief planner.
Don't say we were standing because mother clucker. I was 6 miles out. I watched the whole shit from 6 miles out.
And I heard a fella shot in the arm, and I've clearly been shot here in the arm.
As the camera crew finally gets to a safe distance and catches their breath, it's revealed that one of the journalists for the BBC had been struck in the arm, along with one of the officers. Though in the midst of all this carnage, we see no sign of Harry Collinson.
Oh, 'cause he gone.
As by this point, he was likely still on the ground where he had originally fallen, dead from his gunshot wound, with his final words being,
Can you get a shot of this gun?
Following the incident, police would engage in a standoff with Dryden, who claimed that he had set up booby traps and landmines, along with other explosives on the property, though this would turn out to be a bluff, and eventually he would be grabbed by officers and taken into custody, where he would subsequently be tried and sentenced to life in prison.
Oh, Jesus.
And despite his actions on that day, Albert Dryden would go on to become somewhat of a national hero, growing a legitimate fan base for the way he stood up against the government. Dryden would live out his time in prison until 2017 when he suffered a massive stroke, to which he was let out on a compassionate release, with the man eventually passing away just 1 year later.
You know what's crazy? He went to jail, but they probably still demolished his shits. They probably destroyed all his bunkers.
Though his actions that day will forever be immortalized as one of the most notorious and darkest moments in television history. I want to give a big thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Make sure to check out those links below, as well as my God tier patrons, Alexander Duran, America's Grumpy Uncle, Bazoo42, Biznacker, Bray, Karen S., Charles Roble, Daniel Binge, Dark GJ, Desiree Livingston, Ahmed Johnson is back in town, Donovan Aaron, Dooms Eternal, Emmanuel Cadena, Game Gamer, Ivo the Evil, Jake Carson, Baby Funk, Jay Money, John Scott Miller, Catherine Ross, Lacey, Larry Mattingly, Mike PH, Martin S., Max, Mike P. Ways, Sam Lutfi, Strella, Skelly, Sub to Michael A, Unblended Korchnoi, and Winged.
What does this say? Does that say Dick? Okay. I got it.
Comics.
Oh, no! Wait, what? What did that say? Where were you? Where were you when it happened? What is this? Is this a picture from the part 2? Look. I'm an actor, right? I've been on professional sets multiple times. And one thing for me is I have to know what's going on. I don't need no surprise shits. I don't need to, I need to know what's going on. Because if you notice, in some movies and some shows, if there's a reaction from an actor from a scene and it looks really real or authentic, it's probably real. The show The Office. There was a lot of improv and there was a lot of real reactions. But if I'm dealing with guns and explosions and stuff like that, or dealing with the ocean or large amounts of water, I need to know. I need to know because I'm not about to get clucked up on live television. Hell no. Or now, because it's 2024, I'm not about to get clocked up on live, like a streaming service or live Facebook Live, Instagram Live. I'm not TikTok. I'm not Twitch. I'm not about to do it. You're not about to catch me slipping. So I need to know what's going on before I agree or sign anything, because that whole helicopter shit was insane. You can't. That's crazy, man. Keep it cool, keep it classy, and I love you. Stay at it. My family.